Hi, I'm Katie J. Simmons, e-commerce specialist with Fit Small Business, and today we're here to talk about in-house fulfillment versus outsourced fulfillment. We'll explain how each method works, including a detailed cost comparison, and show you how to pick the right fulfillment strategy for your business. If you're watching on YouTube, click the links in the description to view all of the info covered in this video and more in our article at fitsmallbusiness.com. Here's a quick overview of order fulfillment. It's the process of managing and storing goods, packing orders, and shipping products out to buyers. It's basically everything that happens after a customer places an order up to the moment that they receive it. It can either be done in house or outsourced to a third party provider. Let's start by taking a close look at in house fulfillment. In this method, all of the tasks involved in order fulfillment are done by the store owner themselves, sometimes with the help of hired employees. In house fulfillment is best for startups and young businesses, processing a small volume of orders, roughly 10 or fewer per day. High volume businesses that are well funded with the resources and means to develop an internal fulfillment department. Stores experimenting with different product offerings, sources, and processes, which often occurs at the startup phase. And for full time store owners who have ample time to dedicate to the tasks involved. To efficiently perform in house fulfillment, we recommend looking into Shipping Easy, which is a shipping platform that allows you to manage orders, compare shipping rates, purchase and print labels, and automate certain tasks. We like it because it provides deep discounts on shipping costs. Ordoro is another order management platform. It delivers shipping and fulfillment functions. Another option is OrderHive, which can help you manage your inventory, your orders, as well as your warehouse operations. And lastly, Uline is a great provider for economical packaging materials. Outsourced fulfillment works a bit differently. In this method, the entire process is handed off to a separate third party company. It's best for growing small businesses or generally stores that process 10 or more orders per day. Solopreneurs who are busy managing their own marketing, product sourcing, and development. Multipreneurs who are needing to dedicate time to other ventures, as well as part time store owners who work a separate job. There are a lot of fulfillment partners to choose from, and each company will offer a slightly different service platform, but we recommend ShipBob for small business fulfillment, Red Stag for special needs handling and high maintenance products, and Whitebox for those who want to outsource as much of their operation as possible, especially for Amazon sellers. To determine which fulfillment strategy is best for your business, you'll need to evaluate your finances and see how they stack up to the costs of each method, as well as your priorities for the benefits of each strategy, such as control, distribution, efficiency, scalability, industry expertise, and time. We'll walk you through the ins and outs of each method to weigh the total costs as well as the benefits and features, starting with the outlay required for each fulfillment strategy. Your total in house fulfillment expenses will depend on a number of attributes of your store and your fulfillment operation, including your order volume, product offerings, and labor, whether you're performing the work yourself or using hired assistants, as well as the location, which plays into your shipping costs. An in house fulfillment operation has four main cost centers to consider: storage, labor, packaging materials, and shipping. We'll take a closer look at how each of these expenses plays out. Starting with storage or general space, this cost greatly depends on how much space you need, and you're going to need to have enough space in order to do three main things: store your inventory, so the size of your goods has a big impact here; process and package orders, which usually takes place at a dedicated packing station, complete with all of the materials that you need; and to accommodate your staff. So, if you're the only worker in your operation, the spatial requirements will be much different than if you've got multiple hired employees on hand in the facility at any given time. There are a number of options for your in house fulfillment space to choose from. You can opt to work out of your home, whether that's in your garage, a spare bedroom, or even your living room. Here's an example of what that can look like. This image is from the YouTuber Back from Burnout. And this is the cheapest option, but it does still incur some expenses. Calculate the cost of this type of space by tallying up cleaning supplies, any necessary repairs, additional lighting implements you might need, packing stations, and any type of shelving. Also, make sure to monitor the recurring expenses that come from electricity use and climate control beyond what you normally use for dwelling. Another option is to rent an off-site space for your order fulfillment. A popular choice is a medium sized storage unit, which provides around 200 to 300 square feet of working space and costs roughly around $160 per month, depending on your location. Here's an example of a 15 by 20 unit from Michigan Self Storage. Business owners typically choose a unit that's close to their home because orders are often processed on a daily basis. And these units usually include electricity, but if you need climate control for storing sensitive products, it will increase the price by roughly 20 to 50%. Also, anticipate spending on some storage shelving as well as a packing station for your rented fulfillment space. The second cost center is labor. Aside from money, your biggest investment in starting a business is your time. So, to accurately compare fulfillment methods, you'll need to gauge how much of that time will go towards fulfillment efforts if you were to handle the tasks in house. Start by assessing the amount of time that fulfillment will require on a weekly basis, but make sure that you're only considering fulfillment tasks in this estimate, which includes things like receiving inbound shipments and meeting delivery drivers, checking and stocking received goods, reviewing, processing, and printing online orders, picking products for each order, packing each order, processing and printing shipping labels, meeting pickup drivers, or dropping off packages yourself, ordering and stocking shipping boxes, tape, and other packaging supplies, quality assurance, and processing returns. Think about how much work and time will go into each of these duties with your specific order volume and unique business needs in mind. During a startup phase, all of these tasks might take on average 4 to 5 hours per day, 5 days per week, but it helps to get a more tailored estimate. Next, you'll determine how much fulfillment will cost, which starts with assessing value. You'll likely do much, if not all, of the work yourself as a startup handling in house fulfillment, so you must put a dollar value to your time, even if you don't actually take any money from the business quite yet. This is the only way to make an accurate comparison of fulfillment methods. There are two ways to approach the cost of your own labor in this situation. You can value your time similarly to how you would be paid elsewhere. So think back to wages from your last occupation or other gigs that you might be working simultaneously. Or you can take the market hourly compensation for someone with your education and your experience. So think if you were an employee pulling a paycheck right now rather than starting your own business, what would your wage be? Alternatively, you can use the hourly amount that you would likely pay to hire an employee. So, as a fledgling small business, this is usually minimum wage labor on a part time basis. So, reference employment laws in your state and incorporate a buffer to cover payroll costs. A good rule of thumb is to tack on an additional 25 to 40% of the wage. Next, you can start thinking about the cost of packaging materials, which is an expense that varies greatly depending on what it is that you sell and what you ship. If you sell small, lightweight goods that don't break easily, packaging costs can be quite inexpensive. However, if you require specialty packaging to protect fragile or oversized goods in transit, packaging can get very pricey. In those cases, an experienced fulfillment center can help you cut down on your packaging costs. For in house methods, there are some cost effective packaging materials that you can use, such as newspaper or other recycled materials for dunnage, which also functions as an eco friendly option. Buying boxes from Uline is a great way to get them pretty cheaply, and they sell package sets that include various sizes of boxes. Alternatively, USPS provides free boxes for priority mail shipments, which is a cost effective method for shipping packages under 2 pounds. Shipping is the next cost center, and it's typically the biggest fulfillment expense that any e commerce business faces. But your specific shipping spend will depend on what you sell, where you buy it, how you ship, and where you ship from. Once these factors are dialed in to a predictable extent, you can forecast shipping costs pretty easily. That being said, it can be tricky to accurately predict these things during the startup phase, and underestimating shipping expenses can quickly tank your budget. So experts recommend estimating about 20% of total sales going towards shipping costs. Each order's shipping costs are based on four factors: package size, package weight, distance to its destination, and delivery speed or service like standard, expedited, what have you. There are shipping estimate tools on the USPS, FedEx, and UPS websites that you can use to try to calculate your monthly shipping spend using all of these factors. Most e-commerce stores sell a variety of items, which causes your box sizes and weights to vary with each order, but you can make educated guesses about these factors by sampling a range of box weights and box measurements. Then use those rate tools to calculate an average. For detailed info on working with UPS, FedEx, and USPS, check out the link in the description. The second piece of your shipping outlay is the cost of inbound shipping for your wholesale orders to travel from your supplier to your facility. A common practice is for retailers to incorporate inbound stock shipping costs into their total cost of good or COG numbers. So if a bulk order of 100 units costs $30 to ship to your location, each unit has a shipping cost of 30 cents. If you have an inbound shipping history to draw from, you can opt to calculate the average cost of transporting a shipment and multiply it by the number of bulk orders that you receive per month. This method provides a solid figure that you can incorporate into your total shipping expenses. Referencing these cost centers, we can add up our estimated expenses to get the total cost of in-house fulfillment. For our example case study, we used a 15 by 20 storage unit for our storage and workspace, which runs about $160 per month in this location. For labor, I'm going to assign a value for my own time rather than hiring staff. And since we're modeling a bootstrap startup, I use the minimum wage in my state plus roughly 25% tacked on top for payroll costs. Multiplying that figure by the amount of time I expect to spend fulfilling orders each week, we get a labor cost of $1,350 per month. We'll be using Uline boxes and blank newsprint dunnage for packaging materials, which is going to cost about $300 per month. And for our shipping, we'll use a combination of UPS, USPS, and FedEx to send customer orders, which could cost about $10.50 per order on average. At 240 orders per month, that racks up a total of $2,520. Altogether, these expenses come out to $4,330 per month, which is on average $18.04 per order. Once you have your own fulfillment cost estimate like this one, run it against your average sales and gross profits to show how profitable your model may be. Let's compare those numbers against the cost of using an outsourced fulfillment center. We already know it will save time, but let's look at the expenses involved in third-party fulfillment. There's no standardized pricing when it comes to fulfillment companies, but most of them do follow a similar pricing structure. And the primary costs of third-party fulfillment come down to inbound shipment receiving, which includes meeting delivery drivers, unpacking orders, checking merchandise against your purchase orders, and then putting away and organizing your goods. It's typically charged per hour of labor. Inventory storage fees, which are usually assessed on a daily basis, so you're only paying for the storage space that you actually use. And it's typically charged per pallet, per bin, or a combination of the two, depending on the quantity of unique SKUs that you have. Pick and pack fees, which are charged for the labor of picking items from inventory and packing them for shipment. In most cases, this fee is assessed per item. Packaging materials is another cost that you'll see on your bill. Most companies offer basic stuff like boxes and poly mailers and standard dunnage for pretty cheap, or they can help you get your own custom packing materials. And there's shipping costs, which will likely account for the largest portion of your fulfillment bill each month, although most companies do receive significant volume discounts on shipping costs that they pass along to you. In addition to these basic cost centers, you may run into fees for return processing, as well as special service fees, which are charged for extra labor that falls outside of basic fulfillment duties. So if you need help with stuff like product labeling, inventory disposal, anything like that, these companies can lend a hand at an hourly rate. Some companies also charge onboarding fees and monthly account management costs, but many quality partners that you'll find won't bill you for these services. Here's a look at how those charges actually play out. For our comparison, we'll use ShipBob. It's the top recommendation in our fulfillment company buyer's guide, which you can find linked in the description down below. For inbound receiving, ShipBob charges $25 an hour for the first 2 hours, which is often all that you need. So at 8 shipments a month, that comes out to $280. Storage with ShipBob costs $40 per pallet and $5 per bin per month. So if we have 2 pallets in storage plus 1 bin for each of our 70 SKUs, it would come out to $430 per month. Pick and pack is free up to 4 items with ShipBob. So if we average 5 items per order, that's only 20 cents per order or $48 per month. Shipping and packing materials are combined into one fee with this company, and discounted rates are available for both. Our orders average about $9.98 per order on ShipBob structure. So for 240 orders per month, that's $2,395. Altogether, our total monthly fulfillment costs are $3,153, which comes out to $13.14 per order. Compared to our in house fulfillment estimate, that's a savings of over $1,100 per month, or roughly $5 per order. If you're interested in getting a customized quote from ShipBob, check out the link in the description or read our in depth ShipBob review, which you can also find linked down below. Sometimes money isn't everything. There are advantages and disadvantages that come along with each fulfillment method, so it's also important to compare fulfillment benefits and weigh them against your individual priorities. The first consideration to talk about is control. Obviously, you're in different levels of control with in house versus outsourced fulfillment, and it's crucial to think about how that can impact your final customer experience. The service that you and your customers receive from an outsourced fulfillment company is protected by service level agreements, called SLAs, and other guarantees assured in the contract that you sign during onboarding. This helps keep quality and consistency high, even though you're not in full control. That being said, these companies are high volume operations, so mistakes inevitably do happen, but many reputable partners measure and publish their accuracy rates. For example, ShipBob currently maintains a 99.98% accuracy rate. Another angle to consider is that any changes you want to make or special touches that you want to include have to be routed through the fulfillment center's staff. This can be difficult and time consuming if it happens to you frequently. So, if you hand make goods or if you customize your products and every step requires a personal touch, in house fulfillment is likely the best option for you. On the other hand, if your products are basically box and send, consider going with the experts. Location is another factor to consider, especially since shipping costs greatly depend on where your products are shipping from in relation to your customers. So, for example, a warehouse in Seattle can efficiently serve a West Coast customer base, but shipping orders to New York will be a completely different story. So, in house fulfillment from a single facility is good for a centralized customer base, whereas third party fulfillment companies with warehouses spread out around the country are better for merchants with a wide customer base. ShipBob is a great instance of this. They have 23 warehouses strategically positioned all over the country. If you frequently ship internationally, it could benefit you to go with a third party provider who offers local fulfillment in overseas regions, so that way you can store a portion of your goods near your international customers. Scalability is another big factor in this decision. It's important to consider your current order volume, as well as how that fluctuates throughout the year, and how much you expect that to grow in the near future. If your business consistently runs on a very small scale, with just a few orders trickling in each week, an in house operation is likely your best bet. At the same time, if your order volume jumps during the holidays or school shopping season, it's crucial to be able to accommodate it. As an in house operation, you'll likely need to expand your physical space during these times, hire seasonal helpers, and be ready to handle the influx of non fulfillment demands as well. After those annual sales spikes, when business hits a lull, you might be left with a surplus of resources without the income to afford it. A fulfillment partner can easily adapt to seasonal spikes without leaving you paying for those excess resources afterwards. And the same applies to rapid growth. It's helpful to have a solid infrastructure on hand at all times to accommodate scaling. which is one of the major benefits that third-party fulfillment provides. A fourth benefit to consider is industry expertise. If you're new to e-commerce, a fulfillment partner can guide you through the process and prevent mistakes that many startups and small businesses make. Since fulfillment companies they charge clients based on measured usage, your success is directly linked to their profitability. This can work to your advantage because it allows you to use the staff's wide reaching e commerce and shipping know how in order to navigate your own growth. On the other hand, fulfilling your own orders in house is a highly rewarding experience because it gives you a hands on understanding of the process along with its costs and potential improvements. Lastly, when planning your fulfillment strategy, ask yourself how your time is best spent. In house fulfillment will have you stocking goods, processing orders, packing boxes, and running shipping labels, or overseeing others doing it for you. Outsourced fulfillment gives you that time back and allows you to redirect it towards building your online brand through marketing efforts, through product expansion, and general business development. Both options have their advantages and fit into business models at different stages of expansion. But for many business owners, the opportunity to spend time driving growth is what tips the scales in favor of outsourced fulfillment. For more information on your fulfillment options or any of the other steps involved in starting a business, refer to the links down in the description or check out fitsmallbusiness.com. Thanks for watching.